Hello, it's Carl Brower, and I'm here to talk about a very cool new car from arguably one of the coolest automotive brands, Aston Martin. Aston Martin may not be the fastest or the most powerful of the premium luxury brands, but Aston Martin has two incredibly powerful characteristics associated with it: beauty and bond, and not necessarily in that order. Let's quickly get this whole beauty thing out of the way so we can dive into the latest James Bond news to come out of the company. Aston Martin was founded in 1913, which means it's now 111 years old. And I would argue that no other 100-plus-year-old brand has a history of making cars, and now SUVs, as reliably beautiful as Aston Martin. The company has consistently wrapped gorgeous metal around their chassis and interiors, and that alone makes the British automaker a unique player in the automotive world. But there's something that makes the Aston Martin brand even more desirable than its history of stunning style, and that's its ongoing association with the world's coolest spy. I'll be honest, I normally wouldn't produce an entire video based on a news release about a limited production model. But this is a limited production Aston Martin model paying homage to not just James Bond, but to a James Bond film that many fans consider the James Bond film, Goldfinger. So we've got a chance to talk about the cool Aston Martin brand and James Bond. We're doing a video. Released in 1964, or 60 years ago this year, Goldfinger was the first film to feature Bond driving not just an Aston Martin, but what many consider to be the Aston Martin, a 1964 DB5. So in this film, you had that perfect trifecta of Sean Connery's James Bond, Aston Martin's DB5, and perhaps the best character name ever featured in a Bond movie. I'm talking about Goldfinger, of course. What other character would I be talking about from this film? Aston Martin is paying homage to the original pairing of two iconic brands by producing a limited run of 60 DB12 Goldfinger Edition cars. These cars will be produced with a series of unique features through Aston Martin's Q division, which is yet another cool James Bond-inspired name for the automaker's personalization and bespoke service. I've toured the Q by Aston Martin facility, and it's as magical as you think it is. Think Willy Wonka, but instead of candy, it's a series of rooms with an endless array of leather and suede and thread colors and patterns, along with exterior paint samples and screens to help buyers visualize all these elements being brought together. For this limited run of DB12 Goldfinger Editions, the Q folks will paint all 60 of them Silver Birch, the same color as the DB5 in the iconic film. All the cars will ride on 21-inch multi-spoke silver wheels featuring a diamond treatment finish surrounding black brake calipers. The DB12 will also have bespoke gold side strakes and a unique Aston Martin logo in silver with black enamel contrast. There will also be a bright chrome Q fender badge to further the Bond cool factor. The DB12's cabin will have Sports Plus seats featuring a fluted pattern similar to the classic DB5 and a Prince of Wales check perforation pattern as a reference to the classic James Bond suit. The door sill plaque displays a specific and, in my opinion, very cool Goldfinger 60th anniversary logo. I mean, look at how effectively their designers brought the Goldfinger and 60 years together. I love it. Of course, you can't pay homage to Goldfinger without, gold. So the DB12 will have 18-karat gold-plated interior accents. These are featured on the drive mode rotary dial and the other roller controls, as well as the gear selector. And if you haven't already noticed, check the lines on that gear selector. Look familiar? They are patterned after the gold tracking device Bond used in the film. Finally, there's an 8 of hearts embroidered in the driver's side sun visor, which references the playing card scene in the last draw during the Miami pool scene. Aston Martin says a bunch of cool accessories will also be included with each of the DB12 Goldfinger Edition cars. A special car cover, a unique key presentation box, scale replica model of the car also in Silver Birch, and they'll all come in this special secret agent-like attaché case, also painted Silver Birch, with the Prince of Wales check pattern inside. Don't forget that all of these James Bond elements are featured in the latest Aston Martin DB12, a high-performance GT coupe with a 4-liter V8 engine making 671 horsepower and 590 pound-feet of torque. These cars can get to 60 miles per hour in around 3 seconds, through the quarter mile in just over 11 seconds, and they can hit a top speed of over 200 miles per hour. Their exterior is stunning, their interior is plush and palatial, and the exhaust note, especially in Sport Plus mode, is extremely rewarding. It'd be cool to get one of these 60 Goldfinger editions, but even without the Bond movie elements, just getting a regular old DB12 is a very cool and compelling sports car. It's really neat to see Aston Martin kind of paying homage to their history with James Bond, and they've got to be creative, and they've been doing this off and on for years, just like they've been associated with the Secret Agent for years. But I think this one's pretty cool. I think having only 60 of them built and paying homage to the Goldfinger film, arguably the best film, they're going to get plenty of people scrambling to get all 60 of these. I don't know if I'm going to be able to see one in person. Maybe Aston Martin in Newport Beach, which is pretty close to me, will have one. I'm hoping so, because I really want to see one of these in person at some point.